Hi, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and this is a quick tutorial on sculpting fantasy miniatures. And what it is just some tips, tricks, and tools that I use and that I can tell you about, and to help you to do better sculpting of miniatures. But this is interesting about this is all tied in with some of my other projects, in that I'm currently working on a casting miniatures tutorial, and I want to cast a bunch of miniatures. And I've been experimenting with a variety of different things, if you can see that. But what the overall project here is that I'm working on my wall diorama, and you've probably seen videos if you've been following my channel. And I have a gold mine and a silver mine, and I need a bunch of dwarves to do some mining in those. And I didn't want to buy them. Well, I have some, but I wanted to make some because I thought it'd be good to also show you how to cast them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 or 3 different little dwarves, and then I'm going to cast duplicates. And I will have a series of tutorials on how to cast duplicates, all the different ways you can do it, how to do it. I've even purchased some metal ingots, and I've purchased some epoxy plastics and whatnot. So I'm going to be starting a series on that. But for now, while I was sculpting this miniature, it came out really good, this little dwarf here. And I thought to myself that actually, if you are beginning out as a sculptor and doing miniatures, it struck me that one of the first body types you might want to do is a dwarf, because they're very compact and it's very easy to work on it. If you do like an elf or something like that, or something really complex, it can be difficult and it can be discouraging. So for your first few, you might want to try doing dwarfs. They have small bodies, very compact, so you can work on him a lot easier. And it was very easy for me to work on this little dwarf here. And he's got his arms in this position because what I'm going to be doing is actually I'm going to be making a little pickaxe for him, so he can be, working in the mine. I'm going to do a few different body shapes, so shoveling and mining and whatnot, and then I'll cast those and I'll show you how I do that. So if you're just starting out, consider doing some dwarves, because they're actually a lot easier because of the shape of the body. There's a little more beef on the legs, and you can work with them better. Okay, so let me move on to a few other things that I wanted to talk about. A lot of people have question about what materials to use, and there are 2 materials. I've actually used several different types of materials. 2 materials I like the best for the actual sculpting is green stuff, modeling putty, and Procreate. And those are 2-part epoxies, and what you do is you mix them together, about half and half, and then you get about 2 hours to work them. So, and out of the 2, I prefer the Procreate. I like the texture and the consistency of it a little bit better, but the green stuff is good too. So, and green stuff is easier to get. Seems to me that the Procreate is a little bit more of a professional sculpting putty. So now let me talk a little bit about tools. If you can, and you can afford it, get yourself a set of carving tools like this, or dental picks. These things are really come in handy. I love them. I use them all the time. I really like them. And there's a series of little paddles. I don't know if you can see that little paddle there. That really comes in handy for forming and shaping. So you get all these different shapes in here, and you can pick something like this up on Amazon.com or on at just about any hobby store, tool warehouse, any place like that, and they're really inexpensive. I also use files. I use all kinds of different little tools, and here's a little trick I wanted to show you. A couple of little tricks I wanted to show you. This is one of my favorite tools here, is that I made this. If you can see that, I glued a pin into the end of a dowel, and this is really nice for doing detail work, say chainmail or anything, putting lines. So get yourself a sewing needle or a pin and glue it securely into the end of a dowel, and you're going to end up using this tool quite a bit. I really love that tool. Also, you can use, see that I got a push pin there, that comes in handy. Also, I used a little technique here that I like to use as a tortillon. This is an artist's tool, and it's used for smudging pencil, to soften up pencil lines, and artists use this all the time. And all of this is rolled up paper, but this really is kind of nice if you can get a sharp one. These are kind of used, and you can smooth things out. It works really nice on your sculpting. So tortillon, and you can make these. I do have a tutorial on how to make a tortillon on my website. So those are the basic tools. Start out with a dwarf. Make sure you do a wire template. get yourself a cork so you can work on that and spin it around comfortably. Use your modeling clay, get yourself some tools, and have some fun. I'm going to be showing you more, and I'm currently working on a tutorial for this and showing you pictures and how I did this, how I wireframed this dwarf, and how I built up the body and added the accessories like the little pouch there, and how I made the pickaxe, and that's on my website. And also, I'm going to be using this little fella here as part of my casting and replicating miniatures tutorial, and so that's a new series of tutorials that's coming, because I need these dwarves to mine the gold and silver mines in my wall diorama. So thanks for watching. Lots of fun stuff on my website, www.stormthecastle.com. You know, I originally thought I'd finish that video, but a couple of other things I did want to say. If you're learning how to sculpt fantasy miniatures like this, try to be patient with it. Your first few are going to probably look terrible. Unless you've got some artistic training or background, or you've done artwork or sculpting, it's going to be tough, you know. Don't get discouraged. Once you start doing 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and you're moving on to 7 or 8 or 10 of them, you're going to be shocked at how nice they come out. Because that's part of it. You learn how to do it, and you start to see and feel the shape, and you can visualize what it's going to look like. So you make one, it comes out terrible, that's awesome, because your next one's going to be a little better. You're going to learn a little bit more how to work the material, and your third one, so be persistent. Use up whatever you buy, Procreate or green stuff, use it all up. Keep making miniatures, and that's the secret, and you'll get really good at it.